Greetings and salutations, horror movie fans. My name is Gilbert Ybarra, and welcome back to the Attic Review. On today's episode of Tar, we are going to be talking about my favorite vampire movie, not named The Lost Boys. Written and starring Quentin Tarantino and his buddy George Clooney, this film was also directed by the ultra-violent yet stylish Robert Rodriguez in this vampire film that is really covered up in a crime thriller because for the first hour, unless you saw the trailers, you have no idea that it's a vampire movie that we're walking into. The combination of Tarantino and Rodriguez and their violent styles, Clooney's edge made this film an unlikely hit in 1996 when it came out. And what movie are we talking about? Shit! Ultra cool From Dusk Till Dawn. Let's look at that cool poster. Damn, that's cool! And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, if I can be. I never thought George Clooney was shit on ER, but I tell you what, I saw him in this film, god damn, what a badass. Clooney plays Seth Gecko, and his brother Richie Gecko is played by Tarantino. Seth is a hardened professional thief. His brother is kind of a rapey asshole, but Seth loves him. That's his brother, and they're trying to find sanctuary because they're doing hood rat things. They gotta get out of the US. The brothers need to ride to Mexico, kidnap a good Christian family, and decide to take them over the border so that way they can get away from Johnny Law. Once they get there, hell is literally raised on Earth, and we get to see what happens at the Titty Twister, and if they can survive from dusk till dawn. In traditional Attic Review fashion, I'm going to break down the film into the 3 acts as I saw them play out, what I disliked and what I very much liked about each part, how I felt about the film overall, and without further ado, let's check out why From Dusk Till Dawn kicks so much booty. Let's go.
Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Act 1 opens up with a sheriff walking into this big-ass liquor store in a small town in Texas saying, "God damn, Texas again? Can, Texas quit hogging up all the horror? Shit! Every time I'm doing a movie review, it's gotta be set in Texas. I'm just sick of it. Shit! Anyways, so the sheriff and the clerk have a very good conversation about their daily lives, the sheriff getting sick at a local diner, and a very, very rash string of violent crimes happening across Texas. And according to calculations, the perpetrators of these crimes are headed in that direction of the small town.
Supposed to be headed for the border. We should bring him right my way.
And yes, they are having this nice and polite banter back and forth, but things in this store seem a little too easy, a little too quiet.
Yeah, a little too rough. You guys, knock it off.
And although that sheriff is really talking about getting revenge on those boys that are causing all these crimes, we are violently now introduced to the Gecko brothers. And yeah, causing all of this unnecessary pain and havoc is 2 fine products of the penal system in Seth and Richie Gecko. Again, Seth, the tatted up, cool, suave, stone cold professional, and then wacky Richie, who is just shouldn't be around women at all.
Your mama can a brother holler at you? Holler, holler, holler. Holler at you, holler, holler at you, holler at you, holler, 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 holler.
And after their fiery debut, we the audience are treated to a really awesome Grindhouse style opening credits, which is just so goddamn cool. Settling into a seedy motel to try to get their wits together before they make the final push for Mexico, they have a female hostage and they're getting ready to plan their escape. However, Seth makes the unfortunate mistake of leaving the hostage alone with Richie, and when he comes back, I'll spare you the details.
Richard, what's wrong with you? Please flip that, okay? Just explain.
Yeah, bro, Richie sucks a lot, and that's just putting it very lightly. But now, the Geckos are in a shitty situation because they need new hostages now. And in walks in, around the neighborhood, the Fullers. Jacob Fuller is a former pastor, and he has his lovely daughter with him, Kate, and his son Scott with them, and they're touring the Southwest. Unbeknownst to them, they are about to encounter the Geckos. So far, we've learned that the Geckos are gonna gecko, okay? They're gonna keep doing gangster shit, so they impolitely introduce themselves to the Fullers and just have one question for them.
You boys like Mexico?
Yup, because that's where they're headed. They're taking a little trip south of the border with the Geckos. Yeah, it sucks because Seth, in this life of sin, all he needs is Richie, but to get over the border, unfortunately, they need to do it We're the Miller style and make it look like a family so that way they can avoid looking suspicious. Like they say in The Art of War, you gotta get to know your enemy. And Seth and Jacob are really getting to know each other very well, and it's incredible because Seth is coming off as quite reasonable. He isn't like his brother, he is a professional, and he does have compassion. Maybe to make up for his past sins, he seems determined to show Jacob that he means it. Jacob, you get me and my twisted brother to Mexico, I will let your family live. And honestly, I kind of believe him.
I believe him, yo. I don't know why, but I do.
But of course we're going to have a little spice at the border as we encounter a little bit of trouble with the customs agents as we see Cheech Marin of Cheech and Chong fame giving them a hard time. But, you know, that's for the birds. Eventually they get over the border and we end Act 1. But before we get into Act 1 dislikes and likes, do me a huge favor, everyone. Please click like and subscribe, tell a few friends, and let's get back to the show. Act 1 dislikes, I don't have too many, but I will say that Tarantino's character Richie really makes me uncomfortable. I mean, I know it's a necessary evil, but just that content matter in general makes me real queasy, and just having to stomach through all of it was very difficult. Okay, another dislike. This isn't really from my end, but I just know a casual viewer watching this film for the first time, or maybe anybody kind of watching it can complain and say, hey, where's the vampires? I understand, but a little bit of patience, guys, because I see that you want that bloodlust to be fulfilled, but enjoy what Tarantino can do with the screenplay. Act 1, like, oh my goodness, so watching the interview with Rodriguez and Tarantino, I loved how they pointed out how they took the formula of Stephen King and basically really went to building up the characters. A lot of character strength, we get to know them, we get to feel for them. That's going to pay off big time towards the later acts in the film. So although some fans might say, hey, this movie's a little slow, they are developing some amazing character interest right now that later on when you're seeing them in peril, you feel for them, which is going to be very important to watch them fight off these motherfuckers. And again, Act 1, like, I just love Tarantino and Rodriguez. Both their styles meshed together with Clooney's edge. It's just fantastic. I swear it's like Rodriguez peanut butter, Tarantino jelly, bam, and then Clooney is the milk. Goddamn, this movie is yummy. I love it. Alright, let's get into Act 2.
We're fucking in Mexico, you little piece of fucking shit.
Act 2 begins with Seth being happy as a pig in shit because they made it over the border and Sanctuary is so close they can taste it. And as if life wasn't already just grand for Seth Gecko, they're going to the rendezvous point where they get to meet their associates, where they get to make their deal and go live off the rest of their days in outlaw heaven. But, again, the location. What's the location? Oh my gosh, the sleaziest strip club, and it looks like amateur night in Satan's Kitchen at the Titty Twister. So Seth Gecko is on cloud 9 because his freedom is near, so he's bringing his party crew up to the door of the Titty Twister, and we meet the doorman, Cheech Marin again, but this time as another character, and he is reading off the exotic menu items for the Titty Twister, and I'm not even going to show a clip, you just have to watch the movie, you perverts, because I'm not going to say it. However, despite its appearance, the strip club here is a private party. Only certain patrons could get in, like bikers and truckers. So the doorman looks like Clooney's like, yo dude, you can keep on knocking, but you can't come in. And yeah, the geckos don't like that too much and they want to go inside anyways. And party on now. Shit, man, you get to walk up to Danny Trejo working as a bartender. You see a badass band playing, you see some bad chicks dancing around. It is just a delight for sinners. And they're living it up, man. Tequila, food, everything's going grand. And you think the night can't get better? 2 words, man. Selma Hayek. And Miss Hayek puts on quite the performance, to say the least. Now, with both Gecko brothers all bricked up and distracted by that lovely dance, they don't notice the angry Vatos standing at the door waiting for them because they're still pissed off that the Geckos gave one of their guys a little bit of a beating to get through the door, and now it's time to pay with blood. And hey, you're at a bar in Mexico, I'm pretty sure a fight's gonna happen, so expect some stabbing or some punching, but I don't think anybody expected an hour into the movie we finally see our first vampire. And why's it gotta be Selma? Damn! Baha! Richie is attacked by Selma. He gets kind of drained and we think he's dead. Seth isn't too happy, but overall, all the human patrons at the bar are in for a horrible surprise as one of the sex worker vampires makes a public announcement.
Dinner is served.
And yeah, no real time to mourn. Seth quickly figures out that they're not fighting chupacabras, okay? These vampires are everywhere throughout the titty twister. Blood, booze, boobs, butts, everywhere's flying around as the Mexican band is hammering it out, and there is just hell going on, and it's a pleasure to watch. But throughout all this hellish fighting going on, we meet some key side characters in Sex Machine and Frost.
Anything you got to say to them? Say to me first.
After the smoke clears from all the fighting off the vampires, now Seth's got to deal with Richie's death. And of course, Richie's gonna turn into a vampire, not happy about it, and yeah, Richie is a piece of shit, but he was Seth's piece of shit, so a little bit of silence for him. After the silence is done, cleanup time. Let's murk the rest of these vampires still gasping their last stupid breaths for air. Do they breathe air? But as the team is bonding and slaying the rest of the vampires, we end on a tragic note as one of the team members doesn't even take one for the team, he just gets bitten. But that's how we end Act 2. Before we get into my Act 2 likes and dislikes, huge favor everyone, I'm trying to make this my full-time job, so please do me a favor, click like and subscribe. It helps me in the algorithm, so let's keep the show going. Act 2 dislike. So, I always feel like a broken record saying this, but I don't think it's on my end because I don't mind it, but I can see fans complaining about, yeah, it's bloody, and there's going to be a lots of nudity, so I apologize on the filmmaker's behalf, but hey, it's a movie in a strip club, I'm sorry about that. Funny fact though about the blood content is that they made it green purposely so that way they can kind of sneak by the censors. Nice little trick. The other Act 2 dislike is kind of personal. I just wish that Selma Hayek footage never existed because that's cruel and just unusual punishment to have someone average like me watch that knowing that I'll never just even get to give her a high five. Stupid footage. A quick Act 2 rundown of what I liked about it. Let's see here. Of course, Selma Hayek was phenomenal. The introduction of, like I said, the other characters like Frost, played by Fred Williamson, great actor, and Sex Machine, played by horror legend Tom Savini. And apparently Savini is really great with the whip, as displayed in the movie, and during like the fight scenes throughout the bar, he was really just bopping people up, including my boy Clooney, which I thought was really funny. Huge Act 1 like for me was George Clooney's character of Seth Gecko. Just his character development just blossomed, and he is a true anti-hero. The guy is a dick. He's a professional thief. He kills people. But he doesn't do it unless he needs to. I like his code of honor, and just his character is one of my favorite final dudes in horror cinema history. So let's go on with Act 3.
I don't want to hear anything about I don't believe in vampires. Because I don't fucking believe in vampires. What I believe in my own two eyes, and what I saw is fucking vampires.
Act 3 begins with the group collectively admitting they're in a weird, shitty situation that's very unbelievable. If they hadn't just seen with their own eyes that those were fucking vampires, they wouldn't believe that those were fucking vampires. So now they've got to think, how do we survive? How do we fight back? And the conversation they have about what works is pretty funny.
I'm not sure. Doesn't silver have something to do with vampires?
That's werewolves.
I know silver bullets are werewolves, but I'm sure silver has something to do with vampires.
Well, does anybody have any silver? Okay, then who cares?
And I apologize, but some spoilers coming up as Frost is giving a weird-ass pep talk about his time in Vietnam and the human will to survive. Over there in the corner, kind of quiet and very hilariously, is a transformation being taken place by none other than Sex Machine. He's becoming one of the bloodsuckers. And yeah, once he completes his transformation, it's not good for the group. He attacks Frost, and then both of those buttholes kind of let in the rest of the vampires, and the Fullers and Seth are fucked. But right before all the vampires were let in, Patriarch and former man of God himself, Jacob, gets bitten. Of course he does. But the rest of the crew takes off through some weird ass hallway. They find a little bit of sanctuary in the back, and now it's time to see if they can survive the rest of the night. So now, will Seth and the rest of the Fullers make it out the rest of the night? I don't know. Actually, I do know, but I'm not going to tell you. I want you to watch the rest of the movie, and we are going to get into my Act 3 likes and dislikes. But I think you already know what's up. Before we get into my Act 3 likes and dislikes, click like and subscribe, please. I could really use it. Really appreciate it, guys. Let's keep going. Act 3 dislikes. Okay, it has nothing to do with the story. I love how the film ended. However, spoilers here. When Seth Gecko sees Kate and Scott getting weapons to go fight the vampires, what does he choose? Nothing cool like the crossbow or anything. He chooses that goddamn stupid jutting stick. Excuse me, that was really weird, but why did he pick that to go fight the fucking undead? It was just... ugh. But besides that, no real complaints. So Act 3 likes, oh my goodness. Again, I told you earlier that Stephen King's style of character development really paid off, because I didn't think I would give a shit about Richie dying, but I did kind of care. I didn't think I was going to care about Frost or Sex Machine. I kind of did. So they did a phenomenal job of making me have a connection to the characters, which I really didn't see happening in like this crime vampire film. Now that's how I saw all 3 acts. How did I feel about the film altogether? I fucking loved it! A little backstory about this too. I had the distinct honor and pleasure of seeing this film when it first came out at the drive-in. Oh, one of my favorite aunts. She took me to go see, the first film was Rumble at the Bronx. Then the second film, From Dusk Till Dawn, and they played it like at 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night. It was just phenomenal seeing this vampire film at the drive-in. And again, what's so unique and great about From Dusk Till Dawn is that if you had no idea what this movie was about, if you never saw any trailers or previews and just started watching with somebody, you would have no inclination that there's a vampire going to pop up at any time, because the story's so goddamn good that at first you don't even think we need vampires, and then it just makes the movie that much better. So thank you, From Dusk Till Dawn, for being an unexpectedly great vampire film. So yes, 1996 From Dusk Till Dawn, mwah, gets my stamp of approval. If you haven't seen the film, please do yourself a favor. You will fall in love with this crime thriller vampire movie, I guarantee it. And that concludes this episode of the Attic Review and talking about From Dusk Till Dawn. Everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to talk horror movies with me. Please click like and subscribe. It's free and it would mean the world to me. Take care of yourselves, please. My name is Gilbert Ibarra. Thank you for watching the Attic Review. Smile, Tiger.